Chains and shadows. The cell stank of sulfur and iron. The walls dripped with moisture that hissed when it hit the molten cracks threading through the stone. Corporal Daniel Rourke groaned as the guards shoved him inside and the heavy gate slammed shut behind him. His wrists were shackled, his uniform torn, and his face bruised from the beating. "Enjoy your company, human," sneered the alien warden, a hulking creature with scaled skin and tusks jutting from its mouth. "No one lasts long in the dragon's cell." Daniel forced a grin, blood running down the corner of his lip. "Guess I'll be the first." The guards barked laughter and left, the lock clanking shut. Then came the sound. A low, rolling growl from the shadows. Daniel squinted. In the far corner of the cell, a shape shifted, vast, scaled, coiled. Eyes like molten gold opened, slitted pupils narrowing on him. The alien dragon raised its head, smoke curling from its nostrils. "Well," Daniel muttered, "guess I've got a roommate." The dragon. The creature was easily the length of a shuttlecraft. Its wings, though folded, brushed the stone walls. Chains bound its neck and limbs, though even restrained, its presence radiated raw power. It bared its fangs, each tooth the size of a human hand. Its growl vibrated Daniel's chest. "You're a big one," Daniel said softly, scanning the cell. "No weapons. No exits. Just him and the beast. They tossed me in here hoping you'd do the dirty work." The dragon's nostrils flared. It sniffed, then rumbled something low. Not a snarl, not quite. A sound closer to curiosity. Daniel sat slowly on the stone floor, chains rattling. "Not gonna lie, pal. You could kill me in one bite. But something tells me if you wanted me dead, you'd have done it already." A soldier's calm. Hours passed. The dragon watched him, unblinking. Daniel forced himself to remain calm. Panic would only make him sloppy. He thought back to survival training. Rule 1. Assess the threat. Rule 2. Find the angle. And most important, never forget that everything alive has needs. "Food, water, freedom," he whispered, glancing at the chains digging into the dragon's hide. "Same as me." The dragon shifted, as if it understood. Daniel tilted his head. "You're a prisoner too, huh?" The beast's eyes glowed in the dim light, and for the first time, it gave a low, almost mournful sound. First contact. On his third day, Daniel noticed something. The dragon's growls had patterns. Variations in pitch and rhythm that weren't random. It was language. Crude, guttural, but language. He began mimicking the sounds, awkwardly at first. The dragon tilted its head, then rumbled back, slightly slower, as though adjusting for him. By the end of the week, they were exchanging basic ideas. Name. Hunger. Pain. Freedom. The dragon's name, as best as Daniel could render it, was Vraka. Daniel touched his chest. "Daniel." The dragon's chest rumbled in reply. "Da, Neil." For the first time in days, Daniel smiled. The escape plan. Daniel pieced the story together. Vraka was once revered a weapon, a god to some alien cultures. But the Dominion, the same faction that had captured Daniel, had chained him as a trophy and experiment. They fed him scraps, kept him caged, and delighted in watching him break lesser prisoners. That was why Daniel had been thrown in. A joke. A death sentence. But Vraka hadn't killed him. Instead, the dragon shifted closer each day, curling protectively around him at night against the chill of the stone. Daniel's soldier's mind worked non-stop. The shackles binding Vraka were massive, forged from alloy tougher than starship hull plating. But everything had a weakness. And humans, above all, were problem solvers. "All right, big guy," Daniel whispered one night, staring at the chains. "If I can get us out of here, you're going to have to trust me." "Deal?" Vraka's eye gleamed. A deep rumble answered, breaking the chains. Daniel waited for the guards. He watched their routine. Noted the way they checked the bindings. The way one of them, sloppy, careless, always leaned too close. That was his chance. When the guard entered on the 10th day, Daniel feigned collapse. The guard laughed, prodding him with a boot. That was when Daniel moved. He grabbed the guard's wrist, twisted, and yanked him into the cell fully. With brutal precision, Daniel slammed the guard's head against the bars. The alien slumped, unconscious. The dragon stirred, smoke curling from his nostrils. Sure, Daniel whispered. He pried the guard's sidearm from its holster. Not much power, but enough. He fired at the weakest link in Vraka's chains, the locking clamps. Sparks flew. Metal hissed. The first chain shattered. Vraka roared, the sound deafening, shaking dust from the ceiling. Daniel fired again and again, until every shackle broke. The dragon stretched his wings fully for the first time in years, the force of the motion nearly knocking Daniel off his feet. Fire and fury. The guards outside panicked at the noise. Alarms blared. Now or never, big guy, Daniel growled. Vraka surged forward, smashing through the gate like it was paper. Flames erupted from his jaws, incinerating the first squad of guards. Daniel ducked behind his massive bulk, the heat washing over him but never touching him. Together, they tore through the dungeon. Daniel shot with stolen weapons, precise and efficient. Vraka unleashed firestorms, smashing walls and scattering terrified aliens. For the first time, man and dragon fought as one. The flight. They burst into the night sky. Vraka spread his wings, the membranes glowing in the moonlight. Daniel clung to the ridges of his back as they soared higher, the prison fortress shrinking below them. Searchlights swept the skies. Fighters scrambled to intercept. Vraka twisted, banked, and unleashed torrents of fire, burning the enemy ships from the sky. Daniel whooped, adrenaline surging. "You're not just a prisoner," he shouted into the wind. "You're a king." Vraka's answering roar shook the heavens. "Not just a soldier." When dawn broke, they landed in the mountains far from the Dominion's reach. Daniel slid from Vraka's back, legs trembling, exhaustion finally setting in. The dragon lowered his massive head, golden eyes meeting Daniel's. For the first time, the soldier saw gratitude there. Daniel rested a hand against the dragon's snout. "They thought I was just a soldier. Just another body to throw away. But they forgot something important." He smiled faintly. "Humans don't break easy. And we don't leave our friends behind." Vraka rumbled deep in his chest, smoke curling around Daniel like a protective shroud. Together, they looked out over the horizon, the soldier and the dragon, no longer prisoners, but partners. And somewhere deep inside, the galaxy trembled, because a new legend had just been born.